Glute smash, glute smash. We're gonna smash some glutes. I know it sounds super weird. That's what today's video is about. I'm gonna show you how to take something like this, the orb ball. I actually have a special tool that you can use as well, but this is just as good. It's my favorite thing. It's been my favorite thing for years. And I'm gonna show you my strategies to loosen up some low, high, mid glutes that are just tight. They're ugly from squatting, lunges, or whatever you're doing that is glute intensive. This is my strategy. This is how I loosen up my glutes when they get tight. This is how I do some trigger release or tissue release on the glutes as a whole. And I'm gonna basically give you exactly what I do when it comes to improving the tissue health in the glutes and hip area. Welcome to the channel. My name is William, where I teach you how to overcome persistent chronic low back pain by building smarter strength, improving your movements, and mastering your mindset. We do this naturally. And if you're new here, I've got a really cool free gift that you can check out. It's a small mini back pain workshop where I show you how I apply exercise to persistent low back pain. If you're trying to move better, if you're trying to build strength, you're trying to get back to doing the exercises that you used to but can't because of back pain, this mini workshop is absolutely free and it's yours. You can go to the website www.fitnessforbackpain.com/back pain workshop. There's also a link in the description. So let's smash our glutes, shall we? There's two tools that you can use. This is a really expensive one. It's called the rubber ball. This thing actually vibrates. It's really cool. Essentially you turn it on and it starts vibrating, and then you've got, or you can have something like this. I suggest that you get something of this size. Obviously you can tell it's like a softball type of size to it. This is like a hard foam. You're not gonna be able to do this the way that I do it with a foam roller. Trust me, I've tried. You can kind of do it with the edges of the foam roller, but if you really want to do this the way I do it and do it really strategically and efficiently, get something like this. This is the orb ball, and I'll leave a link in the description where you can pick this thing up on Amazon or something like that. And I'll also show you where you can get this thing with actually a discount code for this specific product if you're into vibrating balls. So let's do this. So what I typically will start off with, I'd like to do like a 5-minute warm up if it's on a bike or some kind of fast-paced walk. That's what I'm gonna start with. This is a glute and hip area. I'm gonna focus primarily on maybe getting into like the TFL area, but I wanna spend most of the time on the glutes and using these tools. So what I'll do is first, after my warm up and my body temperature, my internal core temperature is elevated, I'm warm, I'll jump on this thing. I'm just gonna do kind of like a light rollover. I'm not going to try to crush it. I'm not gonna try to put all of my weight down and try to like mash anything out. I'm really just trying to kind of let my body know what I'm doing. Hopefully you can see that. Drop the camera a little bit. Boom, get more of my butt cheeks, So there's the ball here. What I'm doing is, here's the crack of it. And I'm gonna basically work along the ridge here. Get the ridge, and I'm working basically all down in this area and a little bit down in and around, okay? So I'm not sitting on bone. You're not trying to crush your bone or hit your sacrum. You're not trying to go that deep. So I'll sit here and roll for a little bit, wake everything up, kind of get my mind on what I'm doing. Once I spend maybe a minute doing that, then I'll really try to kind of find an area and just sit on it and find a spot that is kind of aggravating. What I don't suggest is you try to crush your piriformis. What happens, people who have sciatica issues, or they have pseudo sciatica, or they have real sciatica, like you start messing with that piriformis, and if you don't know what kind of issues you have that's causing your piriformis, there's a strong chance that doing this and sitting on that piriformis, even if it feels good, could really set off those sciatica symptoms. So be mindful of that and try to work around that if you can. So once I find my spots, I'll do what's called kind of like a tack and pull. So I'll relax my leg. I'll sit on that ball where that nasty, gnarly area is, and I'm gonna tack it down. And I'm just gonna pull my leg or internally rotate my leg. So I'm kind of just trying to sit on it here, tack it, open my leg up, lift up, tack it down, and I'm gonna drag my leg in and basically in towards the middle of my body. And I'm essentially trying to push down that muscle like this and then pull, or almost like trying to like separate it, right? I can't give you a good analogy, I'm sorry. So I'll use that strategy all over my glute. So it's nothing specific. I'll work all over this area here, doing that specific that smash or tack and pull technique. From there, what I'll do before I go on to the next thing is I'll just do some glute engagement drills. I'm just gonna sit here on my back. I'll kind of make sure I know what my butt cheeks feel like. And before I lift off, I'm gonna try to just squeeze my butt. To practice, see if I can get my left one fire and squeeze it as hard as I can without, cramping my hamstring, but I'm really trying to focus on getting that glute activated. You can do whatever you want. If it's straightening your leg out here, it might be a little bit easier for you to get that glute engagement versus having it like this. But find a spot that feels good to you and squeeze that right glute, squeeze that left glute, squeeze both of them, just to kind of pump some blood to the area and activate and kind of get your mind around, again, what you're working. That's just what I like to do. So after you do the glute activation drills, you can maybe do 15 contractions and just kind of call it a day. You're just really trying to understand and feel that muscle contracting so you feel like you have complete control and a good solid contraction every single time. That's all. Don't make it too complicated. This next thing that I do is very similar to the first one when it comes to the tack and like glide or pull across, is now I'm gonna find a very specific area. Usually it's around the crest of my hip. So again, recap on where I'm at. You can take your hands and you have your big hip bone here and all your glutes are attaching at different points of the pelvis. So what you're basically doing is you're trying to attack all these specific areas where the muscle is attaching to your hip. So you can go all down in this area here. That's essentially where I'm going. So when I sit on this ball, I'm just going based off of what I feel. So you're gonna get on the ball and feel something different in other places. That's what you wanna focus on. So I'll find an area, usually kind of around that hip socket area, and I'm gonna sink into the ball, make sure I'm relaxing, and then I'm gonna slowly bring my leg up and drop it down. So the key to this is the relaxation part. I'll sit on it nice and gentle, relax, let that ball sink into the muscle, and then once it sinks in and I'm completely relaxed, no contraction, then I'll take my leg and I'll kind of do some rotations with it. So I'm trying to like tack these muscles down and then rotate my leg at the same time. I'll do this on both sides of the hip, right and left side, very similar, tack it down, and I'm gonna rotate. Once I work all the areas, let's say we spend 2 to 5 minutes on each glute. 5 minutes on both ones is probably a little bit higher, but 2 to 5 minutes on each glute is a good spot to start. Once that's done, what I'll do is I'll pick one glute stretch that I like a lot that kind of targets the whole area, and I'll just do that specific stretch for 1 to 3 minutes. Right? So you can hold it for 30 seconds at a time, but as long as you're accumulating around 3 minutes per glute, you should be good. You can do more, but you want to be careful that you're not trying to make the area more mad, right? You're not trying to piss it off and have a bunch of cramps and symptoms of sciatica and back pain later if you have a sensitive low back. I will do my glute stretch that I like to do is I'll take this leg up, and I'm not gonna do the rotation stretch. What I'm gonna do is I'm trying to pin this hip down and rest this foot on this quad and then relax that leg. And I'm just gonna pull this leg across my body while I'm trying to pin my hip down flat. So it's almost like my torso's twisting this way to the left while I'm trying to pull and relax this leg to come to the right. And what's gonna result is you'll get a nice stretch. If you can get this hip to anchor down and relax this area here and then adjust where your foot's at and then try to relax all this, you'll get an amazing stretch that is just in the glutes, right in this area here. So you're not stretching your low back, you're not doing any kind of twisting necessarily in the lumbar spine, so it could be safe for you as long as you're careful. And I'll do that, and I'll adjust my foot where my foot's at and kind of pull it in different areas to see if I can target any of the tight areas. But just spend, again, accumulation of around 3 minutes per side, and I'll do that on both. And that's my drill. That's what I do for my glutes. I try not to spend too much time doing this. If you can fit all of that in to like 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes max, I think you're in good shape. You can adjust the time, and there's no scientific number of the perfect amount of time, so play with it. Now, holding it for 15 seconds isn't gonna be good. You wanna spend some time working on this tissue and be consistent with it. Maybe 3 times a week, 4 times a week, you're gonna do this routine at home, in the gym, after your workout or after you've been warmed up. Do not do this as a morning routine. Don't do it ice cold. You really wanna kind of get the internal body temperature up before you start doing this kind of stuff. So thanks for watching, guys. Again, pick up that free gift, fitnessforbackpain.com/back pain workshop. Awesome video, awesome little workshop that you can use for your own strategy of getting out of pain and using exercise, doing it naturally without surgery, drugs, or doctor's visits. You can do it. You gotta have the right tools. So I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you on the next episode.